Volume 1 contains works written between 1893 and 1894, seminal years for the battle between populists known as Narodniki, those are people who agitated among the peasants and saw them as a force for change, versus the Russian Marxists. It was also the later years of Emperor Alexander III, a Tsar who ascended to the throne after the assassination of his father, the Tsar liberator Alexander II, who freed the serfs and made some constitutional concessions. Alexander II was assassinated by the Narodnaya Volya, a conspiratorial group of Russian terrorists who believed that subjecting the peasants to what were called redemption payments for their land was nothing but a new form of slavery. There was no actual liberation. So Alexander III's reign was therefore reactionary, and it is marked by rapid industrialization enabled by Russia's new alliance with France that accompanied large investments in industrial production and the Trans-Siberian Railway, which offered the possibility of connecting European markets to East Asia. Works in this volume reflect that time period in some obvious ways. For example, the work New Economic Developments in Peasant Life, Lenin argues that the influx of foreign capital was changing the peasants' relationship to the land by offering them the option of becoming wage laborers. In the work What the Friends of the People Are and How They Fight Against Social Democrats, Lenin demonstrates his command of Marx's historical materialism to take aim at the Narodniki, who, quote, do not want to abolish exploitation, but to mitigate it. But Lenin also takes aim at Marxists who have a narrow understanding of the doctrine and who see it as nothing more than the doctrine of how individual property gets socialized. Lenin points out that these lazy Marxists conveniently ignore the theory of class struggle and the necessity of exposing the contradictions of capitalism that will embroil the workers. Finally, in The Economic Content of Narodism, Lenin points out that the Narodniki refuse to admit that capitalism exists in Russia, which prohibits them from understanding the economic pressures and the changes being endured by the peasants. On the other hand, he says that the Marxists are the only ones willing to admit that the emergence of capitalism is happening, and they attribute the capitalist mode of production in the countryside and the peasants' new role as commodity producers to be the root of their, quote, morality based on the ruble. Lenin also outlines his view of what Marx considered to be the essential features of capitalism. The first, commodity production. The second, labor power that takes the form of commodity. Thanks for listening. Until next time.